Next, we've got William in London, Ontario. What's your question?
Thank you for your funds that we have bought and done very well with.
Look at that. The ultimate compliment.
I own Google and Apple. I'm thinking of selling some of my Google and buying more Apple. Do you have an opinion, please?
Yes. Well, thanks for the support. Number one, I would say I was just talking to one of my colleagues about this. So Google now is trading at a forward valuation. I think it's like 13.5 times, something like that. The lowest in its publicly traded history was 12.4, I believe, in mid 2012, I think was anyways. So Google is getting to the point where it's so cheap that it's almost unbelievable. Whether or not we go into recession or we don't, and how long the recession is and whatnot, ultimately we're looking for what is pricing in the worst case scenario. And I think Google is rapidly approaching that. So to put in perspective, Buffett, who was known for staying away from tech, and granted, this was probably partially his decision and partially some of his lieutenants, when they first bought Apple, it was trading, I think it was Q1 of 2016, it was trading between 10 and 10.5 times on a forward PE basis. And so Google is not quite there yet, but it's pretty close. So that's the Google side of it. And I think anyone who's seen me on the show knows I love Google. I also love Apple, but if you were gonna do a pair trade, I would actually consider it the other way around. I would consider maybe paring back on Apple and buying more Google because Apple is a little more expensive. And the one caveat that I'll have here is that Apple has a tendency to outperform in a late cycle environment, kind of like what we're in now. So that is a point, but I did notice, kind of looking at just recently the drawdown in some of these mega cap names, and seeing Google's valuation where it is pretty remarkable.